right, good afternoon. Yes, it is afternoon, everyone. I wanted to go ahead and make this video in case you're not familiar with Slack. We were talking today with some folks from the Suicide Prevention Lifeline and the Disaster Distress Helpline on just some tips on how to make working remotely a little bit more of an efficient process, since it's not something that we all really had planned on doing and had to maybe scramble a little bit to make happen. Um, you all are doing a beautiful job of adjusting to your respective roles within Def Lead, despite the difficulties that have come with COVID-19. One thing that they talked about a lot was using Slack as a means of communicating with the other people in your team. We've been using GroupMe, and GroupMe has its ups and downs. It's a very simple application to use. However, when you are part of an agency like Def Lead, where there's a lot of different groups and teams within your within your agency, GroupMe kind of falls short because you have to make individual group chats for every single team, and that can be a lot to juggle. So, wanted to try setting up Slack and give everyone the chance to use that instead. So, you should have gotten in your inbox an email from me, kind of inviting you to join Slack. You're going to click join now. If you don't have a Slack account, it will ask you to make your username and password. So you might already have an account, but I'll go ahead and make another fake one. Call it Tyler Demo. I want a password I'll remember, so I'm going to set a password that you can't see. I uncheck the box that says it's okay to email me about the Slack service because I don't need that many emails in my inbox. So I click create account. I'll save the password, why not? So it took me to the Slack channel on my web browser. So if you're doing this in Safari or Chrome or Firefox or some other internet browser, this is what you would see. I prefer to use the app. So if you are on a Mac, you can download from the App Store, I believe, the Slack application. So looks pretty much the exact same, right? I'm on the application now. iPhone, Android both have an application as well. PC you can download from Slack's website, I believe, or the Microsoft Store. I don't have a PC, so I'm not 100% sure. But once you download that, you can... Let me sign out. Excuse me. So this is what it'll look like when you open the app for the first time. You'll sign in. It'll open the web browser. You'll enter the workspace URL into here, which is just Def Lead, not dead, Def Lead. Continue. It might ask you to put your email address and your password that you used to create the account if it doesn't have it saved already. And then it'll sign you back in on the app. When you're inside Slack, there are a few different ways that you can communicate with people. The main way is through what's called channels. And I want you to think of each channel as kind of its own separate GroupMe. So you have the general channel, which is where if there are announcements that everyone needs to see from maybe Dr. Logan, or if Teresa needs to collect everyone's timesheets because we all forgot, or if I need to put out a reminder for call report forms or something like that, general announcements go here. The DCL channel is for the Deaf Crisis Line, and everyone who is in some way affiliated with the Deaf Crisis Line would be added to this channel. This is where they could chat about Deaf Crisis Line related things. Same thing goes for the Missouri Crisis Line. Anyone that watches any of the hearing phone lines would be added to this channel. And what else do we have? We have the office, which is office staff would be here if they need to talk about happenings from the day-to-day in the office. This might be a little quieter while we're all working remotely. Pagers would have their own pager staff channel in case we need support from our fellow pager people. And my favorite channel is random. This is where you can post photos of your cats or your dogs, funny things that you would want to possibly use to like lift spirits, motivational quotes, stuff that doesn't really relate to the work we do, but you'd like to share. So those are the different channels we have. Whenever you're sending a message in Slack, make sure you're sending it to the right channel. Always double check. If you send something in general that only pertains to the DCL, then you're going to send a message to a lot of people who don't necessarily need to see it. The same rules that we used for GroupMe apply to Slack as well. Please don't post anything that would violate the anonymity of anyone that utilizes our services. So no names, no phone numbers, stuff like that. If you aren't sure about whether or not you should post it, maybe reach out to Dr. Logan or your pager person, and we'll assist you with that. The other way that you communicate on Slack is through direct messaging. So let's say I need to send Dr. Logan a message via Slack. I could type it here and I could say hi, can't type, on my Slack recording. I could send it. If you're using the Slack application on your phone or on your computer, then you can have it set up so a notification will pop up on the screen so that you know you have a message. You can do this anyone in the DefLead Slack. You can send direct messages. This is something that you could use to get a hold of your pager person if you needed to. If you're in need of like immediate support and it's something that's time sensitive, I would definitely not use Slack to reach out to anyone. That would be a time where you need to call your pager person, since immediacy and group messaging platforms don't really go very well together. If you click on your own name in direct messages, this is kind of a place where you can jot notes or what am I trying to say? Reminders. If there's that thing on the call report form that you sometimes forget and you need to remind yourself of, you could put that here, stuff like that. This is like your own workspace. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. I'm on Tyler Demo, which I'll have to remember to delete later. But you can see draft messages, list to-dos, keep links and files handy, stuff like that. So the other thing you can do is, if you are in need of getting a hold of me for questions about tech support, something like that, I would suggest, going down here, clicking on my name. You can click on my name next to the green dot. It'll pull up my profile on Slack, and it has my phone number as well as my email address. So if you need to text me or call me for like tech support or anything like that, this would be a way you could find my phone number if you don't already have it to get a hold of me. So if you have questions about Slack, please don't hesitate to reach out. I know this is probably a new platform for a lot of you, but I'm hoping that it will make communication within DefLead just a little bit easier, and so we don't have to juggle quite so many GroupMe chats. I know that especially for all of you college students, GroupMe can become a little tedious, so I'm hoping that this will relieve some of that. But yeah, if you have any questions, hit me up, and I hope you all have a great day. Thank you all so much for all the hard work that you're doing. You really are making a huge impact and are such a valuable member of our team. But yeah, that's all I got. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope to talk to all y'all on Slack very soon.